I think you were talking about.
I think I've been traumatized by the Barre Finance Committee meeting.
Oh, geez.
So really, unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of update that will be actionable for you at this point. It is there is movement in terms of finding more funds to reduce our budget, and but still so many unanswered questions about what the cost of actually operating schools were. We had to place an order for PPE. I know you're going through that as well on the town side. Luckily, you got a little bit more CARES Act money than we did. We ended up with $170,000, and we have a requirement to share some of that money with private schools in our district. So of that 170, about 20,000 went to 15,000 went to Eagle Hill, and 5,000 went to St. Aloysius. And so we've got about $150,000 to spend on PPE, which we have just about expended to cover the DESE's recommendations for the first 12 weeks of school, for what we will need for the first 12 weeks. So so I wish I could give you more definitive information about our budget. At this point, the school committee, at our recommendation, really is in a holding pattern. We just really need to know our revenue numbers, and I had to send potential layoff notices to 26 teachers on Monday. Just not knowing who we'll be able to employ. We had a June 15th deadline in the collective bargaining agreement that I had to adhere to. So I've got 26 people on layoff right now. Not a good feeling. We're not going to be able to teach the kids with that number of people out of the district, and hopefully, when everything is said and done, we'll be able to bring most, if not all, of those people back. But right now, it's so uncertain. And those decisions are tough because it costs, in a way, it costs you money because you've got now 26 people on unemployment, and we're self-insured for unemployment. So that means $200,000 in unemployment costs for the summer, that we're hoping, won't be necessary in the long run. So we're really just holding pattern, trying to, we're not spending anything. We expect that our communities won't be able to recommend the assessment number that we sent to you in April. We understand that number is too high. We understand that I met with the Hardwick Finance Committee last night. They're not planning to recommend our number at town meeting. I fully understand that. The school committee fully understands that. We know the number we sent you is not something that you can do, but to reduce it right now, we couldn't be accurate. So we feel as though, you'll recommend the number that you feel you can recommend at town meeting. Whether it gets passed or not is up to the voters. And when this is all said and done, we'll come back with a revised assessment number once we know what our revenue is and what how we can deliver educational services under the circumstances that are going to be imposed on us by the Department of Education in the most economical way we can.
Sheila, so you haven't been given any more updates on the procedures that you'll have to put in place? So there's nothing been done on that at all?
No, if you've been following it in the media, there was about 2 weeks ago, the media misinterpreted something that was released. So they released guidelines for summer school. And said that we could teach some children for summer school in person, and they released guidelines around the safety guidelines, etc. The media interpreted that, some media outlets interpreted that to be what was going to be recommended for fall, And so you may have heard the news reports, 10 children to a classroom, those kinds of things. That was the guidance for summer school, extended school year, which in our district primarily pertains to students on individual education programs, students in special education programs. The guidance for fall reopening was expected this week. Tomorrow's Friday, we don't have it yet. And I was told unofficially today that it won't be announced until early next week because the governor will be making the announcement, as he typically has been for these types of things, and it will be early next week. Some people speculate it will be Monday. So we have not received the reopening guidance at all. So it's very hard to plan.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
Sheila, was there something about the 1.3 million available to school choice? Was there a reason why it goes through school choice, or?
Yes, so every year we charge mostly salaries, some of our salaries to the school choice revolving account. We have a revolving account that is set up that we put all of the revenue from our school choice students in. Many years ago, when school choice first started, the district was able to use that money for capital improvements to the middle high school and not use it to fund the operating budget. But that didn't last forever. And so over the years, we have been charging salaries to the school choice revolving account in order to essentially reduce the budget. Instead of having those salaries in the general fund budget, they're charged against the school choice revolving account. And so this year, what ended up happening was because of the COVID-19 crisis and because we were able to save some money and things that we would typically have expended money on in the last third of the school year, we had about a $1.3 million excess in our general fund budget. Typically, an excess in the general fund budget at the end of the school year drops to our E&D account. The problem with taking that $1.3 million that we have this year and dropping it to E&D is you can't access that E&D money in the next fiscal year. You can only access it after it's been certified, and that certification happens in October. So we couldn't use it to help reduce the FY21 budget. We would have to use it for FY22. So revolving accounts operate differently. We can access that revolving account money at any time. So what we decided to do, right, is
For any purpose.
Exactly. Back charge the salaries that were charged to school choice, put them back into the general fund budget for FY20, and now we have a greater, a $1.3 million balance in school choice that we can then use immediately to decrease FY21. So that's why we made that choice. Hopefully we will have a little money in addition that will drop to E&D because our E&D is very low, and we've been regularly using E&D as a revenue source for the budgets for the last several years, and we're worried about that money getting so low that we won't have a typical amount to use toward FY22. So we're trying to balance it and make it so that we have some consistent revenue, district revenue, to support the budget going forward into 22, because I guess we're probably all equally as worried about 22 as we are 21. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions I can answer?
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck, Sheila.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, thank you, Sheila.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime. I'm happy to come
much.
to any meeting. I'm sure I'll see you all at the annual town meeting. And in the meantime, if there's any questions that I can answer or any new information, I'll make sure that I pass it on.
Our public hearing will be next Thursday night. It's a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
We might have to reconfigure some of the settings.
Yeah.
It might be email this address for a link and we'll vet the people. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
That's an idea.
Yeah, people will have to know ahead of time. I don't know. I don't want to do that again. No, that was traumatizing.
Agreed.
So.
Maybe they'll have to sign up ahead, giving the name, you know.
Well, we can. I mean, there are things you can do. Like you can require pre-registration, where if everyone's going to do a visual, which maybe this is a good thing to have a visual for everybody. We can send it out as a pre-registration. And if you don't register, then you don't get to come.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll figure. We'll try something. I don't know. Many apologies, though. Many apologies. I don't know what happened. But in all fairness, Rick did text me and let me know that YouTube, it takes about 5 minutes to learn how to hack. Into the
Oh,
Zoom.
really?
So I wonder if there's a 5-minute Zoom meeting video that shows me how to keep hackers from coming in.
Sure.
Yeah, everything is on there, telling you whatever to do.
So, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheila.
All right. Thank you. And if you don't have any more questions,
Thank
I'll
you very
sign out.
much.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, now, which should we take first, Heather, the budget or the
Warren, you tell me.
warrant? Hmm?
What's your pleasure?
Well, if we take the budget first, then we can just put the recommendation right on the warrant, right?
We could, or we can we can wait and put the recommendations on the, whatever floats your boat. I'm here, so however you'd like to do it.
Well, why don't we go through the town warrant?
Okay. You say that right after I clicked open the budget, didn't you?
Sorry
okay.
about that.
Hold on, no worries. Okay, so the select board reviewed this Monday night. Let's see if it's sharing here. Okay. Can we all see the town warrant?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
You're on Article 18.
I'm on Article 18.
Yeah, that's what it says on my screen.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what it's doing here. Okay, doing that. Okay, hold on. Let me try again. Take 2.
Has everybody got a budget? Did you print off the copy
Yes,
that she sent?
yes.
Okay.
But we're gonna start on the
Yeah.
warrant only, unless you want to go back to the budget and confuse me.
No, let's do right here, page 1.
Okay, so here we go. This is mostly what we looked at last week. There's a couple changes. Definitely take a look. Let me know if you think I'm missing anything. I left some of money in there for a few of the articles, a couple articles that I had a more specific spot for a number. I put back to this. The only ones where I did the specific number thus far on the warrant is the capital items. Oh, sugar gumdrops. We forgot to ask Sheila about Ruggles parking lot school. I'll put it in here anyway. Okay. Anyway, so everything here is pretty much as it was before. There's a couple changes because the select board went through the warrant draft on Monday and had some modifications to put in. They're meeting tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 p.m. to talk about the warrant and to approve it. So that being said, would you like?
So we need to approve it tonight.
Yes.
Or make our recommendations.
Yeah, that would be great. And then what I was going to do is I was going to put together the document for the hearing next week. I'm currently working, as Claire knows, on a kind of a little bit of a budget narrative. I've kind of gone through the process so far in my draft of it, but I'm hovering through the revenues and then I'll jump into the expenses next. So that's where I am on those. By next Thursday, I'm hoping to have The budget document you guys normally would have, including anything you guys recommend on here, I will put on anything the Board of Selectmen approves, doesn't approve, I will have on that as well, because they're voting on it tomorrow, so they should vote to put it on the warrant and whether or not they approve the article.
Now, you will be showing the selectmen what we approve. And what we
Yes, they'll
haven't.
know what you approve, yep.
Okay,
Or more so, what I'll probably tell them, Claire, tomorrow is what you don't approve, right? Because that's usually easier.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, so the first article here is just the standard one. Now, I think I went through this last week. No one at the board meeting, select board meeting, had me rearrange any of the orders. But as you may recall, I put this in the order that my brain kind of goes down the revenue sheet. So I look at, the additional funds first. So when I'm thinking of a budget, I'm thinking, where's my revenue coming from? And in order to ask the people for money to expend, I need to make sure I'm bringing the money in first before I spend it. So that's what this order is. So Article 1 and Article 2 are the water and the sewer enterprise funds.
I was looking to see if I had them right here.
Oh, the water and sewer budgets? Is that
Yeah.
what you're looking for?
Just
the
to,
ones Jason had sent out.
it's that, yeah.
In front of me.
Does anybody find them faster than I do? How come I don't see the water and sewer on here?
I'm looking, hold on. They're gonna be the ones Jason said. I did not send them out again, so.
Well, you must have the number on here somewhere, right?
I'm looking at it. Hold on, please hold.
Oh, 'cause I don't see it. It's usually separate, that's why.
It is.
I can put my hand on it. Does anybody else have the water or sewer handy?
All right, hold on. I'm pulling them up one at a time here.
You want the town services number?
The FY21 sewer and water budget. Jason would have brought it,
Yep, so I have it here.
would have given it.
The user charges, so
I don't think we had any questions on it, but just if we look at it.
I think he mentioned that it was level funded last year.
Okay,
I
here we
wonder,
go.
I
So
wonder,
here it is. Can you see? Oh, I didn't hit resume share.
Oh, okay. I think I
Alright,
found
here's-
it.
Here's the water department budget.
Okay.
so water overtime went up. Mhm. Heather, these are all in yellow. Does that mean anything?
Jason put them in yellow.
Okay.
That's with the COLA.
Oh,
And the percent of change must be with the COLA.
Yeah. I think so.
Or are they all Has he got it in there? No, that's with COLA.
If you want to move on, Claire, to the other articles, I can try to finagle this onto just one sheet, breaking it down with just a separate category, so it's a little bit easier to see if that would be more helpful.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna need a couple minutes to do that while you guys move on, though.
okay.
I'm gonna move you on and work on that. Okay, let's get this back here. Okay. Are you back to the articles on my screen?
Yeah, we can't really do 3 until
Yeah,
that's to move the cash money over.
yeah, I mean, we don't know. So the problem with number 3 is, right, like, I think the article's fine. The amount of money is gonna be any
Yeah,
to be determined, because if the FinCom continues with the budget as it is, then we're fine. If FinCom looks at, or anyone looks at changing the number for the schools to a higher number, then we might not be fine.
right.
So I think that's really the question on that one. But, all right, I'm gonna move to the next one there. I'm gonna let you guys work on that. I'm gonna go
Okay,
numbers for you, so I'll be back in a couple moments. But the meeting is locked. No one else should be coming in.
okay. So in Article 4,
Claire, for number 1, you're just looking for the total?
well, no, the budget. You know, with everything that, she had pulled it up on the screen. She's gonna pull it up again. So we can move on to Article 4. Which is to see if the town will transfer from ambulance receipts reserve the sum of $475,000 to fund the FY21 omnibus budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2020. So that's just their receivables going into the ambulance. So we have to vote if we want to recommend yes or no.
I'll make a motion, we, recommend favorable action on Article 4.
A second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody agree? And then the omnibus budget, the 5, we have to skip because we'll have to do that. Come back to that. Now, the schools we can discuss because we discussed last week with Heather to go with the level fund, the money that we had paid last year.
Exactly.
So we had appropriated
Right,
higher
appropriate.
than what we paid.
right.
So is it,
That's the 6 million?
no, it was 5,
That's for
The amount that's on the budget.
300, right?
Yes, it's
wasn't it 500, 5, 6, 7, 9, something like that? I read it. Okay, where's my paper? Just read it this afternoon. Where could I put it?
Would that be account 300?
That is, it was in our meeting minutes. If I can find those.
That's account 300. That's all the schools.
This is just Quabbin.
Yes, but Claire, what Ted's asking is, he's looking in Department 300 for the total. If you go to the second page of the spreadsheet or the second page of the Excel sheet, the PDF, you will see the breakdown. And if you scroll down to the category 300, there's 3 things listed. There's the Quabbin, there's Monty Peck, and then there's the debt for the Quabbin.
The council.
Did anybody find it? You got the number?
6,158,000.
Yeah, there's a deficit. The total is the,
Okay, I got it, yeah. Yeah, it's the
6158.
5,679,580. That's the Quabbin assessment. It's on,
You're gonna do each school,
it's on page 6 of 10 that she sent out. The expense lines.
but when it says schools, are you gonna do all the schools in one number or each school?
Let's see what the,
I don't know, that's a really good question, Ted. I mean,
you know what they usually do, Heather? They break out each school.
we can break them out. I mean,
You know, they say Quabbin, such and such, and Monty Tech, such and such. The
So-
number for the schools.
yeah, we can do it however. I mean, I've seen other towns too do it as one article and then they do a kind of breakdown below. And so, right.
Yeah, the different schools. Like they've got it on here, the Quabbin and the Monty Tech and the debt service, Quabbin debt service. That way they can give them the Monty Tech and the debt service, and then if there's questions on the regional school, the Quabbin school, they can fight over that.
Heather, did omnibus means the whole thing?
Yeah, the omnibus usually means the budget for the town, but some towns break that down into general government or the rest of the government and then the schools. I know like Hubbardston this year, they did their school article separate. I mean, I can see how they did theirs for guidance. Right now, I'm still trying to look in the book here for what we did for water and sewer last year, so. Let's see.
So the, I'm writing down on my warrant the numbers that I'm picking up from this. So the Quabbin is 5,679,580.
Yeah.
And then the Monty Tech one, you all set for that one? 446,856.
428.
Wait a minute,
446.
where are you getting that from?
Yeah, it's 428,358.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
That's last
I'm in the
year's
wrong
budget.
column.
You wanna
Glad
do
you got
last year
that.
or this year's number?
I was going to
Money
last.
there, Blair.
428,358.
Yes. I'm for
Good
that.
catch.
I vote for that.
And then the debt service is 51,020.
Right.
I think I pulled up the budget now because we're not questioning. Is that clear? Even though you told me you want to do the other one first, we dove in here.
It might have been easier to do the other one first.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like it.
Right.
Maybe we should switch.
Yeah, probably. So I'm gonna scroll down here. So we were just talking
Okay.
about schools and debt
Yeah.
service. So the schools, Ted, you're absolutely right. They're under Department Code 300. Here they are at the top of the page here. That's the Quabbin assessment, the Monty Tech. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay. and the QRSD, debt service.
Yep.
And level, and remember, level funded for the schools and for all these things don't mean anything. So the level fund and the COLA version is the same, and it's 5.679580 is what we gave them or assessed for them last year. Monty checked assessment to us, unless something's changed, I haven't received anything, it's 428,358, which went down. And then the regional debt service went down to 51,020. Total is the schools at 6.158.958.
So we could, if we could have a motion with those three numbers for a total, so that when it's read, they will break it out for them. Can somebody make a motion for that?
Yeah, make a motion to, Article 6, the, okay, for Article 6, 6,158,958 total. Wobbin, 5679580. Monty Tech, 428,358. Wobbin Debt, 51020.
Okay,
May I have a second on that?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Now, see, we have to interrupt you again, Helen.
That's okay. What you got?
The Article 7, the Board of Assessors,
Mm-hmm.
did they decide to give them that 35,000 or no?
So the select board decided that they were gonna hold until, this week on Friday to make that decision. I'm trying to connect Eileen with them on Friday, so that they can go over that, so that they're on the same page.
So we'll have to vote on that next Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know whether they're gonna give it to them or not.
No, I mean, well, theoretically, I guess the question comes down to if the assessors are asking for their funds that they've been asking for at the amount of $35,000, is that something FinCom would support? Those who missed the 4-hour select board meeting on Monday, you can go back and watch it. I believe it's available on YouTube and public events. And one of the conversations that was discussed was about the article for the assessors, and that this is something that they ask for every year. It's been one select board member's experience that they've never fully depleted all of those funds, and they felt that this year was a bigger year, and perhaps the funds did not be appropriated this time.
So how does the rest of the board wanna handle this?
Well, what's in our budget now? What's in the FY21 budget? What number?
It's 35,000, isn't it? That goes through every year, right, Heather?
I currently have a lower number based on the last email Eileen sent me. And that is what you guys are referencing. So on page 1 here, let's see, I currently have the number of 15,724.
That's how much they want in that article?
Yeah, that's how much she had asked for last because she was trying to be cognizant of the other expenditures, and that was the calculation.
And what was that number again?
Am I showing my screen? You see at the bottom here, assessor's lines for triannual eval.
Okay, yep.
So 15, oh, now I'm pushing buttons. 15,725.
Can I have a motion on that?
I'd rather hold off till next week.
You want to hold out?
I don't, thousand, what's the number? What account number is it?
15,725.
So Ted, there's no account, there is an account number for it, but it's because it's considered a town meeting article. It's not actually something that goes to one of the department lines. So by doing it this way, it allows the assessors to roll the money forward every year because it's actually a town meeting article that creates the account line and not just part of the general budget. Because if it was up higher and then part of the assessor's budget, whatever they didn't use that year would roll back to the town as free cash. But because they keep it as a separate article, they're appropriating every year separately. As an article piece, it's allowed to stay. As I understand it.
Where does it show up on the 9-page budget, Heather?
It's,
It doesn't.
It shows up on the summary page,
Magic, if it doesn't.
and then it shows up as a special article.
on the summary page, Ted.
Am I on the summary page? Is
Yeah.
everyone?
Yes, you are.
And where does it show? And
At
where is
the
it on
bottom.
that?
At the bottom, where the totals are.
Oh, the assessor lines? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm with you. So we'll use the 15,000 number then.
Well, Brian wants to wait until our next meeting to see what the selectmen do tomorrow.
Well,
That's fine.
yeah, there's no
That's
sense being
fine.
at odds with the selectmen if we don't even know what their decision is,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
so we can hold off on that unless anybody
Sounds good to me,
disagrees.
Brian. No?
Everybody in agreement?
Live with that one. Yep.
Okay. Now, Article 8 is the PEG access and cable related fund. And that's on every year.
Right.
It's the 25,000.
Is that a good number?
I believe that's the same number they use every year, isn't it? Brian, do you remember?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure without seeing it on.
I think it is. Could I have a motion on that one?
I'll make a motion of favorable action on Article 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, Heather, do you have a list of the revolving funds for us to see?
So that's a great question, Claire. So one of the things that came up this week that was timely, Ellen had forwarded me an email from Jim Bard relative to the Attorney General's approval of the town's bylaw that I think came out in November relative to the establishment of the revolving fund pursuant to our new bylaw. There was concern that had been raised, I guess, by a citizen when things were submitted to the state and the Attorney General's office about a couple of the revolving funds relative to the police department. So I would say that, they're probably going to be the same amount as last year, except I would want to check with Jim. It's okay to move forward with a couple of the revolving funds.
Okay. Are you gonna have those ready for the public hearing next week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Because the,
Thursday, but we'll get all this stuff done.
because I know those are always included in the warrant booklet. So we'll skip that one. Now, the next two are the snow removal. And do we have numbers for those?
So I will work, no, I don't have many numbers for anything, Claire, that's probably the problem. So I'll talk to Jean today, or tomorrow, or next week, what have you. So we'll,
Okay,
last discussion, I don't think we need to pay that out of free cash. We can, as long as we have enough of our expenses that we haven't utilized, we should be able to do a line item transfer and cover it.
Hmm.
I mean,
Good.
I would leave it. It's up to FinCom how they want to deal with it, but most communities will just cover it with line item transfers. Because otherwise, all you're doing is you're taking from free cash, closing out those accounts, and then moving the money back to free cash to cover the expense.
yeah, because we've always paid those from free cash. But if they can be covered by the transfers,
Yeah,
that
I
would
mean,
be better. It would be something we don't have to put on here.
when I last talked to Jean last week, I recalled the numbers not being super high, and I can probably, if you give me 35 seconds on my other computer here, I can pull up what the most recent numbers.
Jean left us so we could ask her.
Well, she did because, I think she was, today.
Yeah, she had a rough day today.
She did. Okay, so we're looking for no. Okay, snow and ice. So we went over on the OT part-time by $5,000. Went over on snow removal by $30,000. So it's $35,000. Like I said last week, last time this came out, this was 11,093,000, and we had in revenues raised 11,200,000. So I know we need to keep a close eye. We still had one more, but I mean it's up to FinCom. If you guys want to pursue and do what you do in the past, you want to take it from free cash, I'm happy to do that. So those numbers then, as of right now, I'm assuming we have not spent anything else from snow and ice, right? So the snow removal OT part-time would be 28,000. I'm sorry, I take that back. Don't write that number down, Claire.
Okay,
$5,149. So Sandy, that's $5,149 that we went over for the OTPC line. And on the highway snow removal line, we went over by $30,638.60. So $30,638.60. So those
well, my opinion is I think it would be good to, if we can, to take it out of the accounts and just transfer the monies.
Yeah, if Jean isn't
I
having,
don't know how anybody else feels.
if Jean doesn't have anything else, pressing that's gonna take up the money, I'd say for sure, take it out of transfers.
I mean, the other option is that you guys can put these articles on. We put them on, and then we get to town meeting and pass over them.
Yeah.
We'll transfer instead. I mean, we'll know more before town meeting. We'll know more by next Thursday.
Yeah, we can take care of it then.
But if you want, I mean, for the purpose of having numbers, those would be the numbers we have that would go into them.
Heather?
I hear you.
What was the figure for the highway overs? 30,638, what?
63.
63, thank you.
All right.
So we'll move on to Article 12, which is the Wachusett Greenways, the $1,000.
Yes. I don't know 100% that we, so back to the earlier comments of what will the select board do? I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that. There was debate both ways. One opinion was that we don't need to be spending $1,000 on them right now. The other opinion was it's only $1,000. So I do not know how that's going to, end.
How does the FinCom feel about this?
Well, I feel it's money well spent because it brings a lot of people. I mean, there's hundreds of people that are using that trail
Yeah.
now, and you know, I really am in favor of giving them that money.
Well, I feel the same way.
I agree.
Me too.
Yep,
Okay, so that's favorable for them. We should make a motion and go through the whole
Yep.
thing.
motion,
Go ahead. I'll make a
go ahead,
motion.
Brian.
I make a motion that we take favorable action on Article 12, $1,000.
A second?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 No, nobody against.
Okay, now the police cruiser. That's supposed to be 45, Heather?
What number do I have? 40?
40. Remember the chief said
Yep.
it's supposed to be 45?
Okay, I will adjust.
Did you say you were gonna look it up or you're gonna change it?
I'm sorry, I said I will adjust it.
Okay,
Yeah. You got
I need a motion then for this one.
All right, I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 13, for $45,000 for a new cruiser.
Second? Do I have a
Second.
second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Now, Article 14
Brian
is,
did say 45, right?
Yes, I did.
yes,
Oh, thanks. Good. Yep.
Article 14 is the ambulance. Now, we had talked about this coming out of free cash. The selectmen want it to be borrowed. Jean feels, she talked this morning at the meeting, that it should be free cash, not borrowed. So I don't know how the rest of you feel. I feel it should come out of the free cash.
I didn't hear what you said that Jean said. You blocked out.
Okay, Jean said she would like to see it come from free cash rather than borrow. And she was under the impression that Rob had agreed with that.
Amen.
I think he did.
But when he was at the selectmen's
Amen.
meeting Monday, he was talking about borrowing. That would be okay.
Well, yeah. As long as he gets the ambulance, I'm sure he's happy.
Yeah,
I just think it's a better financial, in my opinion, and apparently our accountant's opinion, to take it out of free cash. So
yeah.
I vote.
So we can give what we want to recommend,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
the voters can vote the way they want.
Right.
So I need a motion for that, the 285 from free cash.
Make a motion for favorable action on Article 14, to be 285,000 to be transferred from free cash.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 So are we gonna cross out borrow?
You can on your warrant, whatever you want, or I just wrote in free
Yes.
cash. On mine. Cause see, they say raise inappropriate, borrow or transfer. So we're gonna we wanna transfer from free cash. Then Article 15 is the Ruggles Lane parking lot. Heather, you mentioned you were gonna talk to Sheila about that?
Yes, and I did not, except for a couple months ago when we had talked about it, and they said that it was something they really needed, so I left it in.
Yeah.
I can follow up with an email to her right now. I wish we've now met with her twice, and both times I have not remembered to ask that question. So I'm gonna pop her an email right now.
Okay, so we'll skip over that one. The next one is to see if the town will vote to allow the Board of Assessors to appoint one of its members to a paid part-time position under their supervision as allowed by MGL Chapter 268A, Section 21A, or take any other action relative thereto. Don't they do this every year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it goes every year.
Yeah, I do too, Claire. I think we see that.
Yeah. Can I have a motion on that?
Motion for favorable action on Article 16.
Can I have a second?
Sure, I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, the Article 17 is the Chapter 90s grant. And that's one that is done every year.
Just to accept the money, right?
Yeah, I think that's what,
That's what I think.
yeah.
A motion for favorable action on Article 17.
Can I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Now. 17.
I think that's a boilerplate too, this next one.
17, 18. The next one is to allow the treasurer collector to borrow money from time to time in anticipation of revenue for the 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2020, in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 4, and to renew any note or notes as may be given for a period of less than 1 year or take any action thereto. That's a general one that's on there every year also.
Aye. Yeah,
Can I have a motion?
Motion for favorable action on Article 18.
Can I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So,
aye.
Now, Article 19. Is that one that's on there every year?
It is. It's usually normally like Article number 1.
Okay.
So I
That's
don't.
why I get confused, Heather, because you moved them around.
I know. Well, no one told me I had to move them back, so I just.
Yeah, that's fine. Can I have a motion on that one?
sure. Favorable action, Article 19.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 20, reports from committees.
Same thing.
Yep, that's, so if I can have a motion on that?
All right, favorable action on Article 20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
The next one you don't have a number on,
I have a,
Heather.
That is number, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I have several questions on that.
Well, that is number 21. It is the one that the select board asked me to add. So again, that, the select board asked me to add an article relative to cable improvements for the town, upgrade and expansion of the town of Barre.
Okay,
I will try to answer as many possible questions as I am capable.
okay, has the cable committee met and agreed upon this number?
Cable committee has not met. They were originally supposed to have a meeting scheduled, but I think Joshua Smith said it was on the wrong day, so they were just gonna wait next week. They didn't
Okay,
have the cable committee, so I do not know they have not had an opportunity to opine.
all right, has Comcast agreed to this figure to do the whole?
It's charter.
What, charter?
The cable company, again, has not been contacted. This has been something that the select board came up with on their own,
So why would we,
that they wanted to pursue.
I can fill you in on something. I had a conversation with Joshua, or people were on the one of the chat places on Facebook, and he answered them and said that the Cable Commission does not have anything to do with extending lines.
okay. Who does?
Well, it came out a few days ago, the federal government is going to give monies out
Grants, right?
to do the internet throughout the country for
Yeah.
rural areas, so everybody will have better internet.
That's what I've been saying right from the beginning, we gotta wait for the grants.
You can't just take money, that's my opinion, but they are gun-ho for it, of the selectmen.
Favor.
How do,
Go ahead.
we have seen no numbers except a guess of 100,000. I'm not gonna vote for anything without numbers and estimates.
All right, thank you, Ted.
what about you, Eric?
That sounds reasonable. It sounds sensible to me. So we would recommend waiting on this.
Can be taken up at another meeting. Jen, how do you feel?
It's gonna cost way more than that. I mean, Peter Sam just went through this over the last 3 years, and it was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get internet up there. It's gonna cost way more than 100,000. So I think we need input from Charter or a competitive bid from somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because what Matt wanted to do was to put this into an account, I
Call
guess,
the cable company about.
to build up. He wanted to build up an account. That's how I understood. Maybe I'm wrong, but I
We
didn't
need
feel
numbers.
that we have money for this right now.
I'd love better access, but I don't know that,
Yeah.
I don't think the timing is right.
That's how I feel too, Jen.
Yeah,
So do you want to make a unfavorable on this one, or I need a motion?
Make a motion,
sure.
we have unfavorable action on Article, whatever number it is, 21.
21.
With
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And it says
I didn't hear the motion. Was it?
unfavorable. Am I on?
Okay,
And that's the end of that.
I mean, it's not that we don't want to see everybody in town have internet. I mean, we certainly do.
Yeah,
But
Right.
we need to put a little bit of focus first.
Say,
if they ask questions, you answer them. Maybe we'll get some people next week that might ask questions on that.
Hope so.
I had conversations with a man on Loring Road. And I told him that we just, at this time, with the COVID and everything, and he seemed to understand, but he said he would like to talk and bring it up to let him know.
Very good.
Once we
Later,
know
I
what
called the
happens.
cable company. I called the cable company. They said it might cost $10,000 to get the line to my house.
Well, there's 10 other people who can get it. That's all right.
Right.
So we just need to take up sewer, water, and our omnibus budget.
We do sewer and water next week, so I can try to put something comprehensive together on that.
Certainly.
Because otherwise I'm just gonna be
Right.
having numbers that I don't know what's indirect, what's not indirect, and what the total numbers are.
What is that for, the sewer and water?
Yeah. Can we come back to those next week, Claire?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I might be able to even look them up this week. I know I've got the papers somewhere.
I have them, but the thing we ran into, and I think we talked about this in the past, even what we had for our Excel sheets, we used to group things together based on who oversaw them, not necessarily the department codes, which has to enter in. So even Jason's books, even for water and sewer, they're not really set up with all the department code numbers on them in the right order. So I kind of have to figure out.
Yeah.
It'll take me a couple hours. Like I'm sure I'll be working through the weekend this weekend on that. So I'll come over as
Well, if I find those numbers tomorrow, I'll let you know. 'Cause I thought I had them. But I've got so many here right now that I don't. But we can go through the other departments. So we'll leave the sewer and water.
all right, where would you like to start, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there were any others. No, we'll take care of that. I think we covered them all. Anything else? Yep. Well, if we go through the budget list,
Sure.
not the
You want me to?
expense in case they want to look at some of the lines.
Sure. How about I go into this detailed piece first, and then we can always go back up to the top because I did make a few slight changes last week. I want to review them with everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. The moderator, no change. Same as it always is. Select board, we have the select board expenses, the stipends, and then the expenses. So I talked to Jean today, and we made 2 changes to the select board expenses. The first thing we moved was the fund for the postage machine. So we pay an annual fee of just under $3,000 for those postage machines. We moved that down to, remember this category we called second purchasing? So that's hanging out down there in that department. So that will be under central purchasing. So that dropped that budget by about $3,000. And then we also took out $550 for the cost of postage. So I'll show you that when we get to it down below.
Yeah, those things that you moved around, we can go through 'em when we
Yes.
get down to 'em. Okay,
So that brings it down to $10,120.
Yep.
So you didn't really save money, I just moved money. All right, so town administrator salary, we have the level funded and then we have the 2% COLA. We have the town admin assistant salary, same thing,
now I have a question on that town administrator salary.
okay?
Is that a contract or no?
Well, it is normally a contracted position, Claire, but since it will be vacant as of July 1st, there's no contract currently in place to go by.
Right.
Cause that's why I was looking at the 2%, because contracted don't get the 2%.
So I would say, with that position, to hire someone, you're gonna want the 2%. You're probably gonna want way more than the 2%,
Yeah,
but I
Yeah.
would at a minimum add that 2%. So the one problem, and I've brought this up at the board a few times, is that, at some point we're gonna wanna do another wage analysis to make sure that we're being as competitive as we can with other communities. And you'll notice that the TA salary for the town of Barre is actually one of the lowest in the state.
yeah,
So that's just something to keep in mind. I would definitely keep the 2% in.
okay. I just had a question on that, cause I wasn't sure if it was contracted or not.
Yes, on a normal day, that is a contractual position, but where we're changing fiscal years and I'm departing June 30th.
Yep,
Until in such time that they hire someone, it will be open.
Good luck.
Bunch up there. Fund is $10,000. Now, one thing you guys might want to consider, but if there's no money left on the table, assuming, understanding that we're probably going to come back in the fall for schools and so forth, some towns take advantage of that and they add more to the reserve fund, especially because we're taking budgeting this year. So there's a potential that there's more unknowns coming up. And as we discussed at the last meeting, there are a couple things that we don't know how they're going to affect us in the fall with certain positions and departments. So just some food for thought. Town accountant's line, so salary went up based on the percentage, the assistant town accountant line, let's see here, info account audit, town accountant expense. So that number went up a little bit, and then 85,452 for the higher number. The assessor's office was down originally at 106,258. And we had the 2% COLA, it's 109,396, with an increase in the working assessor salary and the assessor clerk's salary.
are those because of steps?
The administrative assessor, the salary, I believe, is due to, let's see, you can actually tell. So if you look in the green column, Claire, and the number's higher, it's
Yeah,
because of a step already before the 2%. So the assessor.
okay, that's, when it's higher, that means that those are steps.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Treasurer collector. So remember we added in the collector. Assistant collector now exists within the treasurer collector department. So the total is going to be 143. Remember, if you really wanted to look truly last year, you would have had to add that 116 with 26,285 in the next line.
Yeah,
All right, so it would have brought you to what? 142. 140, almost 143. Actually, I think exactly 143. The numbers changed, so it would be exactly 143,048,79, and then the increase of the 2% would be 145,508. Let's see, legal. I level funded the town council stipend initially, and then when we went to the 2%, I did increase it. As we mentioned before, we don't know what next year is going to bring for things. We still have at least one CBA that we need to address, and we also have, I'm just trying to put the town in a good position in the event that our town council retires.
Right,
next step.
because we'd have to pay a lot more than that.
Well, I know, but this would be an initial. So, let's see, IT. So remember, I combined the regional IT with the data processing. That's what FKA, formerly known as.
Mhm.
So you have the software for 15,225, the IT managed services for 25K, and the IT expense.
Some more.
Which one went up
What?
24?
The IT
Okay,
expenses?
hold on one second. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm on my second.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Last year, the managed services was the same last year. Let's see, IT expenses. This is continued. Should I subtract that out? I think the difference was the Clear Gov budget, but I think you talked about not continuing that. So let me just.
Right, we weren't gonna do that. So that would go down, right?
What we have in this, let's see. So we have the Gov Office website, which is 4,000.
But that was only 800.
No, the Clear Gov budget was 8,700. Well, 8,750.
Oh, I thought Andrew told me it was 800.
Okay. Well, I got $8,750.
So we can keep that money then and drop the other ones back to 24?
I'm checking. I got the numbers in front of me. Hold on. 200 plus 1,800. Yeah, we should be able to drop it back to 24.
So that'll make a difference on our bottom line there.
Yes, it will. So I will adjust that as we do.
See, we just saved some money.
Wonderful. Good job, Claire. Okay. All right. So that's IT. Any other questions on the IT piece?
No?
Okay. So then town clerk. You see, it was up on the COLA. Both of the positions there. Then we have everything else is pretty much the same for the clerk category. Any questions on that? No, okay. Okay, so then, let's see, elections. Remember, we moved registrars and elections into the same category. Next year, our elections took a spike up, and that's because we have the presidential election,
Yeah.
and we had to plan for additional precautions. And also just the cost of postage, mailing supplies, and so forth.
That's where you took them from other things and figured them in.
I would have liked to take the postage from that, but the problem is that I didn't see in Ellen's documents where postage was broken down, so I wasn't able to pull it.
Okay.
So it's okay because anything in there is over and above what we usually spend in postage on a year. I think it'll take a couple of years to really build the postage line, so it's no one else is paying anyone else's budget for it. Okay, we said 24,000. I'm just fixing that one number so my I know. Okay. So that changes that bottom line to, going back to IT, changes it to 64,225. Okay. All right, let's see. So that's the town clerk section. That's the elections. Any questions on those? Okay, so centralized. Oh, Eric, was that you?
No, that was a no. That was a no. No questions.
Oh, okay.
Good.
All right, so then we have central purchasing, we have postage. So I talked to Jean today. We did, like I said, take the 550 out of the select boards. I was having trouble finding other people's numbers. So we knew what we normally spent, so we put in 5,000. So it's a little bit more, so we did end up actually adding to the budget. I think we're gonna be okay, but I do think with COVID being present, that we're still gonna see a higher use of our postage machine than we normally budget anyway, because we're doing everything by mail since we're not doing things face to face.
Yeah.
The mail machine was 3,000. I actually moved this from the buildings. It used to be part of the buildings numbers, I think. Actually, where was that number? No, it was not. I lied. That's incorrect. Where did I take that number from? Oh, I already said earlier. I took it from the select board expenses. That's where that number came from. Okay. All right, so then we have the town report expense, which is still 1,000. We have the regional planning assessment, which I talked to Jean, she had, when she put it there somewhere, she actually stepped in the building expenses. So we thought this was a much more appropriate line to put in central purchasing than building. So that's where we put it. And then Centric's phone lines, they were also part of the building, so we just moved it here. So now it resides in centralized purchasing. You can also just think of that as central town services that everyone uses.
Very good.
All right, any questions on that? So again, this is a departmental line section that I anticipate over the next couple of years you guys get built to kind of just consolidate stuff, so it's a lot easier on some things to pull it into one section so you know what the actual costs are. All right, Concom, $1,000, planning board, consultant, 1,000, planning board expenses, 3,100, that's the same. Land use, we have the land use admin secretary, and that's a step in a COLA. And then the ZPA expense, the regional economic director, part of the grant that we're moving forward this year on. No additional cost to us this year. Town buildings, so we moved the Centrics and the regional planning assessment, as we said, to the centralized purchasing up top. That leaves just the longevity, the custodian, the repairs to the buildings, Henry Woods building, public safety, and town hall maintenance all here. And that brings it to 153,696. And that is an increase. Notice the public safety building by almost $11,000 for
Do you think that amount of money is gonna cover the public safety building?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't really, I don't know why the energy use is so high. I know there was a donation letter that was submitted on Monday night to the select board of folks in town who have a company who would be willing to, I guess, talk about donating solar to the DPW, or not the DPW, I'm sorry, public safety building, where they would actually set it up and talk to the town. So we'll see if that pans out, and if it does, that could help. But I don't know, Claire.
Okay.
All right, the police budget, we went through when the chief was here. It's pretty much the same. The chief and deputy police both have agreements. Okay. Please note that this does not include any any collective bargaining agreement modifications, because remember, they still haven't finished their CPA yet, they haven't started it due to COVID. These numbers will get increased at town meeting in the fall, so there'll need to be money back of everyone's mind that will have to be appropriated to cover the contractual obligations. So. Any questions on the police department? Okay. So the fire department, so we have the same thing, fire chief under salary, everyone else, the numbers are there, regular flat and full. There's nothing else, so it went from 253 to 260, what went up? Fire expenses went up a little bit. Fire inspector, I'm guessing, step. And then the chief's contract, so those numbers, that's why those numbers went up. And then the 260, 267, 50 the next line is the ambulance service. Remember, we combined the ambulance and EMT service. So as I mentioned last week, the ambulance insurance is going to go away because we're going to absorb everything in workman's comp and on duty. So we don't need to pay an additional $6,000 a year for this insurance anymore. So we're all set with that. So last year, if you added those two bottom lines between the ambulance and the EMT, that would have come to the total of $520,000. So we went up about $20,000 for this year's budget from last year. And it looks like, I think we already covered where it went up. The ambulance expenses went up. It looks like the cardiac monitors went down. The service contracts went up a little bit. Ambulance billing stayed the same. All I got. All right, so am I moving on?
Yes, you are.
Yep. Bill, got a couple of
Good,
questions.
Ted. Do you have a question, Ted?
No,
Okay, I thought I heard.
stop.
Okay. Building department. So building department, as we mentioned before, I moved some things around here. I regional building program into its own section, own department code, so that we can be fiscally responsible where we are the host of that program. We keep that stuff completely separate so we can provide better accounting to the communities that we're serving. So up here, so you have the building commissioner salary, which ends up going down to the regional building program. You have the zoning enforcement salary, which is the additional funds we pay whenever we have someone cover or the alternate cover, so that's down below. We have the training, travel, and communications piece, which we've moved down below. And then we have, that's it, those pieces moved to the regional building program. And that left us with the administrative salary, the building department expenses, and we moved in plumbing and wiring inspectors. So we have the full departmental budget here. So that brings us up to 98,000. Last year we were at about 98,000. Because you have to remember that I think we put in the full administrative salary last year in the Board of Health. So we split that position back to the two components, the building and the Board of Health.
Now, Heather, how are they, splitting the building department between towns?
So that's a great question, Claire. The agreement, the intermunicipal agreement says it's divided based on an estimated number of hours that the building commissioner is going to be serving their hours out in the various communities. He is currently scheduled to work 35 hours a week. That's what Brianna was working for her day. So that's what Bill is currently working. Mind you that it's a salaried position, so if he goes over, he goes over, and he still gets the same pay. The number of hours was originally higher on town of Barre side. It actually gets reduced a little bit when your total is only 35 instead of 40. So the numbers got fluctuated around a little bit. We're still working with the other towns on the agreement for that piece to figure out the full divvy of them. Both municipal agreements in the area, they generally do this based on population size because it's a lot easier to do the assessment. But when they designed this, they didn't want to do it on population size. They want to do it on estimated number of hours the building commissioner works in the community. Ideally, in a perfect world, the building commissioner would keep track of all their hours throughout the year, and then they'd add them all up together and then divvy it back out amongst the different towns, and then adjust the assessment based on that calculation. But no one keeps currently that level of detail, and that hasn't been something that's been happening. So generally speaking, we are the highest user. I think we originally were like at 20 something hours, and now I think we're at 18. So we get the majority of that assessment. I can send you guys the IMA as well as the budget breakdown sheet. There's still currently debate over how so we have the expenses, so we know what they are. We know our expenses for the regional building program for next year are going to be 60. If we add COLA, which we calculated into the IMA, it would be $69,449, right? Easy enough. We know how much it's going to be. Theoretically speaking, we would, figure out what percentage of the 35 hours each community has, and then simply divide this out. We'd be golden. However, Hardwick, the town of Hardwick, would like to offset some of their costs and have over the past couple of years with contributing to the cause an electric car for the use of the building. The agreed upon value of that contribution based on savings and mileage was $3,000. So then the debate becomes whether or not that $3,000 is taken off the top of the assessment once you break down the percentages, whether you have to add that money into the total program cost, so it goes from 69 to 72, and then you take it back out for Hardwick, and then you do the percentage, or you put the number in, then you do the percentage, then you take 3,000 off the top. So that's currently where we are. We've been in this just going back and forth for a little while now. I don't have the answer clear. Now you have a background story to it, which you never knew.
Yeah.
And you know everything I know on this, so. All right, so then we have, let's see, go down there, emergency management, that's no change. Regional animal piece, I just got the quote on that. I think they had sent it before I started, but they sent it to me the other week, so it's 17,757. It did go up a little bit from last year. It's the assessment they give us from Rutland. It's kind of like Lonnie Tech, right? When they do their calculations, they send it to me. Regional dispatch fee, same concept. The good news is I believe we're getting money back from regional dispatch that they had underspent this year. So that's a good sign. I don't know how much yet. I don't know when we'll get it, but it will go towards dispatch. For FY20, warden stays the same. Let's see, the schools. We got those numbers. We already talked about those a little earlier. So Monty Tech went down. Debt service went down. Robin, we just kept the same through. DPW administration, if you remember, I combined DPW administration with town roads, highway with the town barn account.
Yeah.
So if you add those numbers up from last year, see, last year's numbers came to 579, 175. So it's slightly under for this level funded, a little bit higher for the quality. So, and that has already had the collective bargaining agreement numbers adjusted to it.
Now, how long will that contract go?
3 years.
So it will be in 23?
Yes. So the beginning of fiscal 24 will end, so it'll expire June 30th, 2020.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Snow removal, we left the same. I believe that's the correct number. Obviously, we spend more than that. My suggestion from this side of the table is always going to be, whenever possible, you probably want to increase that number because costs for everything keep going up every year. And at some point, the percentage that you're going to have to use it for cash to cover the difference because you're not budgeting for it's going to be huge. So you don't necessarily have to go up and cover your entire, increase this by $40,000, but at some point you're going to want to look at adding more money to the snow removal budget. Streetlights, we estimated went up 1,000. Let's see, sanitary landfill stayed the same. Cemetery. I did have a conversation with with Paula, and we broke out cemetery expenses and a new line, cemetery scans. So the idea here was to make sure that everyone knew, Paula wasn't spending $8,000 on supplies. 5,000 of it was to actually work on the cemetery scan project so that they can start figuring out who's there in all of our markings and making sure that we're not doing anything we shouldn't be doing with opening up new plots. Board of Health, that stuff we had talked about. Like I said, I split the line 50-50 on that. Building. Let's see. Stipends, expenses the same, training the same. So the amount went down by 20,000 because we split that other 20 and put it back in the building department. Inspector of Animals is just, I believe, a stipend for health. The COA, so right here, and I think Karen, you want to play with us? I thought you were. Karen, you there?
I think she left.
Hold on, let me push buttons on her computer. Karen, can you hear me? Maybe she ran away. So anyway, we had a conversation at Fin Team today relative, and I just wanted to double check this, relative to the COA director's position. So the COA, generally speaking, we always had in the additional motion we would do to transfer $5,000 from the EOEA grant. So Executive Office of Older Affairs every year, and I know this came up at one of our prior Fin meetings. Every year they give a grant to municipalities based on their population of seniors, based on the last census, so still 2010. And those funds can be used for specified purposes that are given and explained in the called guide that the Office of EOEA gives out. And part of what we've been doing traditionally is we've been offsetting the cost of the director's salary by $5,000 from EOEA. My understanding is a motion to transfer $5,000 to cover the COA director's salary. We don't actually have to do that. The EOEA is a grant. What we do instead of making additional motions and additional work, is we can just reduce the overall director salary line by $5,000 and then we're covered. So I just wanted to verify with Sharon that in fact that 42,870 the year before, and that it wasn't already offset by that $5,000. I might text Sharon because I feel like she's there, but she's not there. Okay. So I just wanted to explain that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It shows Sharon's still there, but
I think she's there.
she's not answering here.
Well, She may only be there in spirit, Claire.
She's faking it.
Yes. I'll give her a buzz in a second, so we'll find out. Veteran salary numbers, so that's all there. I did increase the benefits, which I spelled wrong, by $10,000 from last year, anticipating year for folks. Let's see. Then we have the library, so I put in the numbers. I believe that's by agreement with the library board, and I believe Carol is newer than the prior director, so I think the number might be lower. The youth service librarian, there's a step and then an increase. Library assistants, there's steps in the colas. Catalog, ow, sorry. Hang on 1 second. Sorry. One of the fun things about the home office is when the cat says she's going to sit on the paper that you physically. So that battle's over. We're good. Okay. Oh yes, library director. Okay, cataloging. That went up a little bit for steps and increases. Adult service librarian, the same. Library utility. Carol was actually able to get that number down based on our historical usage over the past couple of years. And then library expenses. We have down and then it goes, okay, I know. It goes down, but if there's a COLA, then it goes up because remember that the books have to be 19% of the entire budget. So that's the calculation there. Recreation, that number stays the same. Parks and Commons goes up slightly for wages. Historical Commission's the same. Holiday decor. Then we get into, remember we talked a couple weeks ago, divided out excluded versus unexcluded debt, so that someone can look at this and figure out, okay, so looking at this off the top of, really quick, so the Barre Commons project, the Ruggles Lane, and the Barre Commons State House note, they're all associated with town meeting and ballot notes, because they are outside the levy. Then the non-excluded debt is everything inside the levy, which is all the other stuff. So, wastewater treatment facility upgrades, sewer USDA projects, water tank, well, FY17 capital improvement debt, which are all the bonds for various things. Then we get into the interest, which is broken down the same way. Any questions on debt?
It's a hell of a good job there, kiddo.
I tried. Poor Jean. And I keep moving things around. I asked her if I could move something today, and she said, Heather, you've already got me moving so many things. What's one more?
I have a question on sanitary landfill. We skipped over that, I think. I just wonder what the 8,000 was for.
Yes, and I followed up and asked Andrea that question because you guys asked me that a while ago.
Mhm.
Somebody told me what that was, but I can't remember now. I didn't write it down.
All right, that one. I do remember the answer. Andrea, I thought had wrote it back to me, but I don't remember.
I think you told me, Heather, because I asked you about that a while ago.
Yeah, I remember I asked her to pull it up. I just honestly didn't recall it.
And whatever it was, it made sense. It's the extra stuff that has to. I'm trying to remember.
Okay, what I'll do is, I'll just put that down as a question. I'll email her afterwards, and I'll forward her email response back to everyone so that they have the answer. I don't remember for the life of me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sanitary landfill, what's this? Okay. All right, so that covers those pieces. We're all set on the debt, everybody?
Yep.
Okay. County retirement. So county retirement, I moved down to the section employee benefits. My goal here is, like other towns, to have one section where you can say, okay, how much are we paying in employee benefits? Bada bing, you have an answer. So you have county retirement, you have the employee health insurance. I broke out retiree health insurance because I think it's important, and most towns have this separate. One of the questions that came up by the select board on Monday is whether or not we're paying for this out of the OPEB account. I had explained that the OPEB account was kind of our future savings account, but we're putting money so that if we future, we can use that fund to help cover some of these retiree health insurance costs. But right now, the general fund is covering retiree health insurance. Or water or sewer enterprise, depending on who gets this suggested, right? Then we have Medicare, and then we have unemployment insurance. So before, these were all just part of the same line. They weren't broken out at all. They were just under the insurance line. If that makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's see, health insurance, we moved that up. General insurance, so general insurance I also broke down. I believe that a budget document should be kind of a roadmap to what's part of the budget. So someone should be able to pick this up and have an idea of what numbers there are. And I felt like what we had before was one line for liability insurance, and all of this stuff was included, was not the most helpful. Broke it out, so you have property and liability insurance, you have workers' comp, you have injured on duty, you have flood insurance, you have employee bonds, and you have deductibles. I don't know if we had the deductible line in there, but I thought it was good to put in because you always want to make sure you have money. You have to pay a deductible. So, and that concludes our every line item, guide. Are there any more questions on that?
Hey, Heather?
Yes.
Yeah, jump back up there to employee benefits. So I understand how you broke those out. What would you compare them to from last year? There's no way to compare it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll grab my detail binder book. Hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, employee benefits.
Claire, do we have to approve all these lines next week before the meeting?
No, I'm just thinking we've gone through every single one of them of the omnibus budget.
Yeah.
I would think can't we
love
just
that.
approve all these because they're not gonna read them separately, Ted.
Right, no, I like that idea, because we used to have to go through that long process, which.
Yeah, they would take each section and read it, where it's all
Right.
one.
Right,
So
I'd
yes.
rather do one.
Okay, so let's see. So the employee insurance. That's what oh no, you want to see employee benefits. Oh, you want to compare it to last year. That's what you're asking, wasn't it?
Kind of, but I don't know if it makes sense that you were breaking it out. So the the county retirement went up a little bit.
Yeah,
And, you know, the rest of them are just new categories that you think it's better to track them individually. And before that was all lumped in somewhere else.
yeah, so see where it says health insurance, I wrote 912, which needs to be corrected to 914. But see right here, it says 914 health insurance, last year was 421,000. Last year, that comprised the employee health insurance of what this year is gonna be 321, the retiree health insurance, the Medicare and the unemployment insurance. So what we ended up doing is I do have, I think I said this, but if I didn't, I'll send it again. So I do have an employee cost FY21 breakdown of all the plans. For the health insurance, just the cover sheet. Not giving any details of people's names. I have those on other sheets, but that part's not public record. So I broke down all these pieces, so it says, you know, the cost of everything. I'll send that. I think that will be helpful for you guys to have. And then you can kind of take a look at it. I don't know. I'm guessing we could look in last year's Excel sheet to see how Andrew broke it down based on the numbers that were last year, but I don't think that they were. I ended up using a totally different sheet to track. So I can break down for you though the insurance numbers. So injured on duty last year was a little bit higher. It was actually 27,000. This year we're estimating 26. The bonds for the elected officials stayed the same. The property and casualty insurance included the discount. So it's actually last year was, let's see, 94,000, so it's only 87. Professional liability was 21. This year it's going to be 22. Workman's comp last year was about 36. This year it's estimated about 35 because of discount. Flood insurance was 5,000 last year. This year it's 5,163. So, and then off of those numbers, I assess things to water and sewer under indirect costs based on their portions.
Mm-hmm.
And that you see when you look at the revenue sheet I sent last week. The second page and the third page of the revenue Excel booklet actually have the breakdowns of the indirect costs. This is how I calculated them.
Okay.
So, okay. All right, any more questions?
Not on that. Now we go to the expense summary.
Sure. Oh, now I gotta go back to my thing because we changed that one number, so it changed the bottom line. Okay, hold on. One side of the house to the other side of the house. I need a bigger desk so all my books and stuff fit on the same thing. Okay, let's pull that back up.
Claire, you go to all the selectmen's meetings, or you attend them.
Yep.
What are we doing about a town administrator? Have they made any decision?
No, they reposted it again.
So we may go into July without one.
There, I guess Heather was saying they're gonna ask a guy that the search committee thought was good.
Yeah,
If you take the interim.
So they're posting for an interim position, which I have to just post it, but they do have someone that they have approached to ask if they were interested, who meets the qualifications, and that was involved in the first search.
Okay.
So the individual, I think will potentially meet with the select board next week, and then we'll see how that goes.
All right, there is a plan.
But they posted, didn't they, for the town administrator again?
Yes, I posted that last week.
So they're gonna, redo that whole search thing again. For the town administrator.
Yes.
What was the fellow's name that came in, Todd?
I don't remember the
I
last.
can't remember his last name. He did that, economic development plan,
Miller.
and they had asked him to come in for interim. And he said no, had a full-time job he didn't want to give up.
Alrighty, so bottom line for the FY 21. For the assessor's line for triennial is gonna be 11,689,681. And then with the COLA would be 11,749,729. Sorry, 741,729.
741 what?
741,729.
So the difference is gonna change down on the bottom.
Yep, so then you add in the articles for the assessment, that's 15,000, that's right. The expenses would be, total expenses would be 11,705,406, the level funded, 11,757,454 for the 2%. And then the difference would be in the center column for the level funded 89,387. And in the 2%, 37,339.
30 what thousand?
37,339.
37. Okay. Now, what does your color code mean on this sheet?
Then I'm gonna get my eyes checked. So I'm gonna do kind of a breakdown of, department by department of what moved. So this is still kind of like an internal, what's what. Usually yellow means something new, red means something a buyer moved.
Because you've got red, green,
Green's
and
only
blue.
level funded column there, all the way down, nowhere else.
We've just got one.
It is, but ignore it if it is, because it should be.
No, you've only got one, the green. There's some other ones that are level funded in there.
Yeah, I got rid of the ones in DVW.
Okay. And what's the blue?
Where do you see blue?
Schools, 300. On the second and third column.
Hold on, I'm looking. I don't see blue.
No, well, I have blue on schools on this one I printed out.
Hold on. Yeah, I don't see blue. Does anyone else see blue?
Yeah,
You do?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad somebody else
line
does.
30, line 36.
Of the expense summary?
Oh, yeah, it's on the summary.
Yeah,
Blue?
it's the schools.
I don't know. I'm not seeing blue.
It went down 20,000.
I don't see. So blue doesn't mean anything, Claire.
Okay. In red,
Red. Now you want to know what red means. Red means something. Usually, except for my errors, red means something moved. Like the emergency management one, I had originally done in
well,
red.
once it's data processing is listed here, and county retirement and health insurance.
So yes, usually the light red that you see, it means something moved.
Now, this is dark red.
What's that?
You're on a different sheet, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, you should be on the summary.
Okay, I'm moving. Not there.
We're getting all mixed up here.
I don't see any red, but I'm in the PDF version. Oh. Hold on.
See that schools number? The 300?
Hold on.
The second and third column are
Taking a look.
Mark blue.
Second,
I hope these numbers are the same as the ones you've got on there.
it should be. I don't see the blue, Claire, other than every other line. I mean, there's-
No, I don't know. It's a
There's
bright
some extra
blue.
column.
there's the FinCom recommendation line. I'm looking. I'm not seeing any blue yet, though. Anyone else see blue?
I don't think you got it on
Yeah,
there.
I think
Maybe
you
it
have
doesn't
some
mean
extra, you have some extra columns on the one that you sent, us. It's got, 5 columns.
Okay, I'm looking. I'm gonna go just pull what I sent you because now I'm concerning myself. Let's see. That's not it. Yeah.
I'm sorry I asked, but I thought they might have meant something.
Just that my sanity. Alright, I don't see him on that page. No. 100. I don't know. I pulled both sheets and everything I've sent you guys. I'm not blue. I'm wondering if it's your computer showing. Is everyone seeing blue? Like, I see blue right now, but it's only because that's where my mouse is.
Well, I'm glad Eric sees them.
No, it's a bright blue thing. It's on the FY21 estimated LF. And then you got a fiscal year 21 request. Columns E and F is blue for the
Oh.
school.
I wonder. I think I know what happens.
You might have deleted that column somewhere or hid that column on your new one, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't see it, but I'm not seeing the blue piece. You guys send me. I don't know. Let's see. Hang on. We're going to try something. We'll see how this goes. We're going to. Let's see. So we'll stop that. Go here. All right, Claire.
I just sent you the copy of it.
Okay.
On
Is it
your
up on
phone.
your, is it up on your computer, Claire?
No, it's on your phone.
It's on my phone.
I took a picture of it.
Oh, you texted it to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know how to do those things.
All right, I'll be right back.
Now, while she's doing that, we need to decide if we should go with a 2% COLA or no. By looking at this, the end of this tells you what. Without COLA, it's 89,000. With COLA, it's 37,000 that we've got.
Well, go ahead, Eric.
So does anyone have any thoughts?
Well, yeah, my thoughts are that even though it's tough economical times probably coming up, I still feel that we should do the COLA because if not, we just fall behind. And, you know, we've fallen behind before and a lot of
Yeah.
our categories now are behind. So to not do it, I mean, if we have the money in the hopefully we'll have the money in the budget to do it. Let's go ahead with it.
Well, with the COLA,
I
we
agree,
have,
Brian. I think that
we have 37,000, to the good.
Yeah, right. What was the difference with the COLA and without? Less than-
Like 50,000?
Oh, it was more.
52?
Alright.
It's a different about 52,000.
Hmm.
Well, I looked at that, Claire. I have no idea. It kind of looks like an old sheet, but all the numbers are right, so I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll ignore them then. I
I
didn't want you to think I was imagining things.
No, I mean, I don't know what the green.
Claire, are you awake by any chance?
What's that, Ted?
I wonder if Claire's at the lake by any chance.
I don't know.
So we were just discussing the 2% COLA.
Oh, okay. We're good now. So you're right. I don't remember who said it, but yes, E and F columns were hidden. So you must have unhid or right. That's why you're seeing those numbers.
Okay.
So you guys were right. And I was going insane because my computer was not showing that I hid those, but they were hidden.
Had the answer.
Brian feels we should go with the 2% COLA.
Yeah,
How
I
does
agree.
everybody else feel?
I agree.
I agree, Claire.
Someone want to make a motion?
What's the motion? What are we looking for? The total budget?
Well, if we agree with the 2% COLA, if we vote that, then we've got to vote the total budget number for the warrant. You know, for the omnibus Article 5.
You want the motion to include that total amount?
Why don't we just do the 2% COLA first?
All right. I make a motion, we take favorable action on a 2.5% COLA.
It's a 2% COLA.
Percent COLA, sorry.
Do I have a second?
Is it
All in
2%? Is the motion 2%?
Yes.
Yes.
2%. Must have lived yesterday.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye.
How about you, Ted?
The signal's still coming from outer space.
Are you for that, Ted?
I think he's frozen.
What do we do in this case, Heather?
Send him an email.
I don't know.
I can't hear very much going on. I don't know what's happening.
We're voting on the 2% COLA.
About phoning in.
What do you suggest, Heather?
Have him phone in.
Well, if you have enough votes with everyone you have, I think that would be okay if you have a majority voting. But otherwise, I agree with Brian. You could call him phone number.
Can he hear us? Oh.
No.
So
I can hear you now and then, but most of the time it's delayed.
We want to know if you want to vote for the 2% COLA. He still doesn't. So does everyone else agree? Brian's left us.
Moving on.
Kathy's number, Sue. Sue,
Is he gonna call?
He's left his chair, so maybe.
He got up and left, so. Now, Heather, the total for the omnibus budget
Yeah.
is 11,771,729
74-1.
with your adjustment.
741,729. Brian is right.
Because that'll be the number that we need to vote for that Article 5.
Oh, there's Ted. Hi, Ted.
yeah. Hey, what a pain in the ass, I'm sorry, but what do I need to tell him?
Ted's on my phone, and I'm gonna ask him the question if he's 4 or 2.5 or not.
Is it
Not 2.5, 2%, right?
Sorry. 2%.
Yes, I'm for Brian.
All right, Ted says in the affirmative.
Okay. How about everybody else? I am.
I am.
And Eric, you said you
Yep.
were, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it's unanimous for that. Now we need to vote on the total for Article 5.
What's the total expense budget? Is that 11,717,729?
11,741,729.
That's the final number.
Correct. Between that two.
Yes, right, good, okay, wonderful.
So now I need a motion for that, for Article 5, the omnibus budget.
All right, make a motion, favorable action, Article 5. Okay, omnibus budget for $11,741,729. Was there cents on it? No.
Can I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
That's voted unanimous then. Favorable.
Yep, favorable action.
Good.
Now, hey Heather, you are going to send us a new sheet with that matches those numbers.
Do you want the numbers to match? Yes. Yes, I can do that.
Okay. And we're not doing year-end transfers until after the year end. Jean said they won't be ready until then.
Thank God for that.
That's it.
And our next meeting is the budget hearing on the 25th. And we need you to spread around anybody that wants answers to be at the meeting, to join in and ask their questions then, to get as many as we can on that meeting.
Okay. Hey Heather, when I open these spreadsheets, do they hide the columns automatically? Or
Well,
you,
I'm gonna send you the PDF version this time so that there's no surprises. But if you want, I can send you the Excel sheet too, but look at the PDF, because that's gonna be the most accurate and that's gonna hide all of the, other columns.
okay. Sounds good.
Heather, can we get it on the website about the meeting next week? Maybe.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
newspaper maybe?
It's already on My Town Government, and I think it's on My Town Government for sure. I'll make sure it's on, I know I posted the date, that was coming up on, Barre Access TV, My Town Government, as well as the website.
All right, I saw it listed, but I didn't see a special,
I'll post something pretty.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
So if you can kind of share it around to your friends, that'll be good. Friends or enemies.
Yeah, friends and enemies.
So I guess that's it, unless anybody's got anything else.
No, I think it's been a pretty exciting evening.
And we'll see you next week.
That was probably a first, wasn't it?
Hopefully it's the last.
One more meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, good. Sounds
Second.
good. Thanks a lot. Fran.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.